It's extremely important to avoid your money freezed, locked in your bank account when you want to switch your tax residency. My name is Andrea Papito and this is ESENtaxa. We talk about how to help people to move to a specific country to reduce their taxes as much as possible. We help people to understand if the relocation to a specific country makes sense. We calculate, we tax simulate your situation like you were already living in the new country, and you know in advance if the relocation tax-wise makes sense or not. In the description below the video you have all our contacts and information, calendar link to book a consultation with us, or an online course. We have recently launched the ESENtaxa Academy, which basically help you to understand all the international tax matters in very easy manner, so you will understand by yourself without even ask for a consultation how everything works in terms of tax strategies, tax planning, the concept of tax residency, territorial taxation, worldwide income taxation. Extremely nice course, and we are releasing also courses about specific tax regimes for each and every European countries, because we mostly work through the European jurisdiction. Now, going back to the topic of this video, why you could risk to see your money freeze, locked, and basically with very difficult procedures to recover them from your bank. Because banking is a very important point here. Whenever you switch your tax residence, you're moving from a country to another country, the first things to do, well, the second thing to do, I would say, because the first thing to do is to have a consultation with us, understand if the relocation makes sense or not. So far, so good. But then the second point is to understand if your banks, the place in which you hold your money, in which you are storing and reserving, archiving and basically locking and protecting your money, are for real safe places if you switching your tax residency in a new jurisdiction. This is because there are quite some rules that the banks must be complied with, and they do some due diligence checks, and they most likely ask the latest address of their customers, their clients. If they found out that you have switched your residence, you may end up in troubles and issues. So I'm going to tell in this video exactly what you have to do before moving forward with your relocation. Once you have decided to move in a specific country, what you have to do with your banks. Now, we have clients coming here and with different bank accounts all around the world. Most of the clients, in our case, they want to move to Europe, and they have several bank accounts open in several different jurisdictions outside the European Union. So the first things to do is to understand if the new country of destination in Europe, but also outside Europe or around the European Union, I mean the area of the globe, let's say, then if the new country of destination has a good relation with the country of origin. Because if so, most likely you can keep your bank account open and all the money are okay. But sometimes just the fact that you switch the tax residence, the bank doesn't accept client resident in this new destination, country of destination. This is a very extremely important point, because you might see in your money locked, freeze, because you cannot use anymore that bank account. So they locked your account and they close it. Probably they will, of course, they will refund you, but it will take some time. It's a process, a very disturbing process, a very complicated process. You might see a bunch of money basically locked, especially if you have all your money in that bank. It's going to be a very serious problem. So first things to do is to inform your bank. Understand with your bank if the new country of destination is accepted by the bank itself. So if the bank says it's fine, you can move there, you can switch your residence there, and we are not going to freeze your money. The second things to do here is to understand if that bank wants to keep the same type of bank account. Because they might want to ask you to switch the type of bank account from a resident bank account with no resident bank account, because this type of bank accounts have different type of or an extra layer of bureaucracy that the bank has to support for your behalf. What kind of bureaucracy we are talking about? The classical thing is that the bank now has to inform the new country of destination, because most likely your new country of destination is a CRS, Common Reporting Standard country, and probably also your country of origin. So the bank has to communicate automatically every year all the information about your bank account, and this is an extra burden for the bank. So you have to make sure that your new country of destination, basically, what are the rules, and if the bank accepts your switch. Okay, so first things to do, inform your bank. If the bank doesn't accept, you will know in advance, and then you can close the bank account with an ordinary procedure before switching the tax residency, of course. And then you can open a new bank account in a new country of destination, or you can open a bank account in a third country. So in a country in which you are not going to move, but you can hold your money in a third country, which basically has banks which they accept basically the new country of destination. So the first things to do, inform your bank, check if you can keep your bank account. Most likely they will ask you to switch into non-resident bank account. And one of the important points here is that the banks wants to know from you the new tax code of the new country of destination, okay? Because the bank, along with all these informations, along with financial informations, they will also need to know which is your new tax identification code in the new country, so they can communicate straight with the new tax authorities in this new country. So you see, it's extremely important because those are laws, international agreements, based on automatic exchange of information that most likely those countries have put in place. Some exception may arise. The example is when you move into a non-common reporting standard country, and most likely the exchange of information is not needed, but then you have to see if your bank of the country of origin wants to have resident in this new country. You see? So it's extremely important to make sure that the banks accept your relocation, and if they do, communicate them with the correct information without any mistakes. Okay? So I wanted to just make this video. It's not very long video, just very short one, but it's extremely important because we have seen a lot of issues with our client, especially if you are administrator of a company, non-resident in a country which you are running your company. Then the banks doesn't want to deal with non-resident people sometimes, so they want to have a local resident. So you see, be resident is very, very important to open a bank account in a certain country, and if you're not anymore resident in the country, then the bank might switch the idea, might change the idea. They have a different policy. So you see, and also if you have, this is the classical case, is when you have banks in a third country, inform all those banks in all those third countries, located in all those third countries, because they have to inform with the new address, with the new tax code, and basically they have to deal with the new tax residency in which you're moving to. So you have to make sure that they will accept you in this new jurisdiction. Okay, I hope I was clear. So the banking part is one of the most important points when we want to switch our tax residency. Here in ESENtaxa we can also help you, consult you to understand if you need to communicate with those banks and what kind of information they are looking for, what kind of procedure you need to be aware of before relocating. And of course we can help you to understand tax-wise if the relocation in Europe, in a specific jurisdiction in Europe, it makes sense for you or not. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like this kind of content, always notification bell like button and subscribe to the channel to help us grow and to be seen popping up in your screen, in your YouTube page, our new content for free. See you to the next video. Bye.